the west side of this, of the side of the octocone. Do we want to start heading south?
Yes, please. Yeah, so we're kind of right at that contour. Yeah, kind of following that contour south.
Roger.
Be great.
So it looks like, if I'm looking at Hyde Pack, that we've dropped back down to about the depth where we first saw the octopus on the other side. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, it's about the same depth as on the east side.
Do you think we missed any on the
north side
by going up a little higher?
Probably a little, yeah. But
I guess we're still going.
you know, I knew we weren't going to capture the entire halo.
Going down.
If we have time, we can bounce down there, but we probably won't.
Roger.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, they seem to have petered out.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll come around and
I think we're gonna be
So
going
some
down
of the
south
questions
for a while
earlier
still.
were, how long did he live? They lived about 3 to 5 years. And the males will die shortly after they spawn, and the females die shortly after they end up brooding.
Are you seeing that in the science chat?
No, I'm seeing that on the web.
Oh, okay. So
Somebody had-
I think my science chat's frozen. I didn't see that in there, but okay.
No,
You're doing
no.
some research.
Somebody
I
had
love it.
verbally asked that information, and I've been looking for about the last 20 minutes to find the answer.
Thanks, Jan. Okay, can you repeat it? Because I was a little confused and I was trying to figure out what I was missing.
So, according to Google, I'm not even
According to
certain of the
Google.
source. Oh,
Dr. Google.
marineconservation.org. marineconservation.org. They live to between 3 to 5 years.
Are they citing this
And,
specific species?
Yes, this specific species.
And what are they called?
And
Octopus robustus. No, I just find that interesting because Janet Voigt is an expert at these, and she doesn't know how long they live. So that is interesting.
okay, like I said, this is according to Google, not according to me. Citizens of the Deep and Marine Conservation.
Gotcha.
But it does cite their genus and species in here. So blame it on marineconservation.org if it's not correct.
Bridge nav.
I will continue to look around for that answer, but
20 meters,
well,
190.
Chad, what was the name of the expert?
Janet Voigt.
The
V-O-I.
octopus lady.
Yeah, V-O-I-G-H-T.
She's definitely the octopus lady.
Okay.
And she's the person who helped to give us a positive ID on the species, right?
Yeah, we sent her a whole male and the arm of a female.
People might be worried when they hear that.
Yeah, well, I'll explain.
Okay.
So as we were talking earlier, these octopus, well, all octopus, they will serve their purpose. You know, they'll mate or brood, and their eggs will hatch. Then they will senesce. They basically slowly die. They kind of fall apart. And the male that we collected was going through senescence. So, you know, it was one of those. I know we can talk about ethics and everything like that, but it was not in good shape. And so we felt it was worth it for a scientific call to collect one that had already served its purpose in life, I guess you could say, but it's something that we
Well,
don't
lived out
want to do
a life,
routinely.
right?
But it was important to understand, you know, what species it is or was. It looks like they've petered out, so, or for the most part, I know we see solitary ones here and there, but that's not going to increase the count too much. So we can, I don't know, is the ship moving south now?
Ship's moving south. We have 10 meters to go, 8 meters to go to complete the ship move.
Okay. Because we can start whatever direction you need to send the ship or whatever, we can start moving south, kind of around the cone.
Okay.
I know you had that already in mind, but looks
Roger.
like we've kind of passed the halo.
Sounds good. We'll move a little closer to the headed upslope then.
Yeah, so we can kind of reestablish contact with where they're more densely populated.
Roger.
Kind of circle that ring.
Definitely seems like the sediment is thicker on these rocks here than further up. Did Jeff Weed have anything to say about where these cracks are, where we do see the flow, and any thoughts on if those are fairly consistent as locations where the water comes out, or might it move around to different cracks and crevices over time?
Yeah. Oops. Sorry, that's a great question. When we met actually in our office, and we've talked many times on the phone and corresponded, I kind of asked him, I said, you know, I see that there's estimates that it accounts for 25% of the world's deep sea circulation, water circulation. I said, that just seems really, really high. Is it just because we haven't been exploring those areas? And he said, exactly. He's like, the very limited areas. Think of it this way. The intake for this water are generally large ridges or seamounts. Those are the targets that are typically explored by geologists and biologists, especially for, you know, big corals and all the charismatic fauna. No one is going around the seafloor and looking at little tiny outcrops everywhere. They're not big, they're not high, they're not rugose, they're not, you know, prime targets. Well, those are most likely the outflows of all these inputs of the seamounts. And there's just, you know, literally millions of them around the planet. So because we finally looked at some outcrops near Davidson, they did down in Costa Rica, these are the times now that, you know, we're kind of expanding this search pattern, if you will, and now running across these things more often. So just by inference, if we start visiting these rocky outcrops more often, we're going to find more of these things. So we applied for some funding this year. We didn't get it, so we're going to hopefully reapply next year, but there's an effort to try and protect the seamounts of the west coast of the United States. So one of the ideas is to explore some of these rocky outcrops off of the base of other seamounts like Pioneer and Gumdrop and Rodriguez and those kind of seamounts on the west coast. Seeing if we can find some more of these outflows, because now we've found many at Davidson in just a few dives. So we think they're kind of ubiquitous around this seamount, perhaps, and maybe they are at other seamounts too. It's just no one's looked.
Bridge nav.
Well, we do have plans, if the weather works in our favor, to look at one more of these bumps. We'll have to see if we end up getting to do that, but on the other side of Davidson from here.
Yeah, it'll be the first look on the other side. I really am looking
So
forward
right
to
now
that
we're
dive.
on the eastern side of southeastern side of Davidson Seamount, correct?
Correct.
I don't have a big map in front of me right now, and that would be on the southwest side where we want to go and look. And I bet people will find it interesting to know that these bumps were only mapped well or at high resolution in the last few years. There's a lot of whelks around that one octopus.
there are.
Any chance we can zoom in on that?
That's
Plus
a
the rock
smaller
is
octopus, it
particularly
almost appears
Hey,
to me,
dark.
too. It's
Which
really
one are we
odd.
looking at?
Bottom
It's
left.
going down into the left. And you have all the whelks
Are you
around
zooming
it.
Yeah.
now?
I'm going.
Yeah, so you see the shimmer.
We've got a shimmer.
Be
Yeah,
cooperative
there we
here.
go.
You can see the, I think you can see the flow in the mantle cavity of that female there.
Sorry, just.
That's
And then we get a
cool.
better purchase. Zoom out.
That could be some of our flow as well, perhaps.
Oh.
Yeah. Sort of side.
Oh
current
yeah,
on.
there it is. There's the flow.
Yeah.
Oh, oh. Oh, okay. See, now I just saw what you saw. Ah. I forget about the delay and then I remember.
All the considerations of science ashore.
Yeah, but I guess if you think it's coming from the Pacific Ocean to a
Okay, zoom
satellite,
in.
down to University of Rhode Island on the East Coast, to the internet, and then back to California
Pretty amazing.
in 5 seconds.
Yeah. I guess that's all right.
I guess that's okay.
Bridge nav.
Sort of
Guys are
caused a
siphon.
ruckus here.
Yes.
See the siphon on this
20
side now.
meters, 164.
Oh,
But let's watch for a second because there's a chance she'll move that whelk or something and we might get a peek at the eggs.
yeah, she looks like she detects the whelk. There it goes. That's what they do. They just kind of pop them off.
Nope.
Pretty cool.
So these whelks probably also clean up the egg cases and things like that, I would think.
And we have seen them clustered at
Okay.
with
zoom
the
out.
almond dives, clustered on spent egg cases.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't tell if they were actively eating, but I don't know what else they would have been doing. You know, like 10 of them on a clump of empty egg cases.
Yeah, when we first saw the octopus in 2018 and then we had, it was like the last thing we saw, so we had time to just really talk about what was going on there and everything. And, all we had seen were eggs and and adults. And one of the things we're like is, do they hatch? And then when they hatch, where do they go after they hatch? And what do they do in the interim before they come back to lay their eggs? And now we've seen the hatchlings swim off, and then they swim off into an information black box. As far as we know, we have no idea where they go and spend those early days, months, years. But we did then last year see these same octopus on the whale fall, which I thought was pretty neat. So we did see them doing something other than coming here and brooding, and they were, I think we were wondering if they were scavenging the carcass, but then some people were thinking they were there probably eating the crustaceans that were at the whale fall. That's the last kind of thinking I remember from that. But have you heard anything in addition to that, Chad?
No, not since then. And we'll be at the whale fall sometime tomorrow. It'll be on this dive, because the whale fall is only about a nautical mile away from this site. So it's very convenient.
That's right. So our
Jen, do
goals
you know if
here,
there was a chitin above the small octopus? Did you notice anything? I did not notice it.
No, when I saw
Justin was
Justin's
wondering.
message, we had already, pulled away, so.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't notice it, but I was looking mostly at the octopus and the whelks. There's some
See
sea
anything?
stars clustered above that female to the left. Oh, I bet there's some shimmer in that crack too. Thought I saw something, but we're still pretty far away.
Gonna zoom in there quick, Al.
So we saw this at the Octopus Garden 2, where most of one area was dominated by the whelks as probably the scavengers or the grazers, the cleanup crew.
Okay.
And then we saw other areas where they were dominated by sea stars, which may be doing the same thing, so serving the same niche.
Well, I didn't see any evidence of flow there. But we're pretty far away. Like you said, Chad, sometimes you don't see it until you get close and
Yeah.
sit for a moment. I was thinking we could maybe mention again what our goals for this dive are, which is to survey around this cone and capture video that will be then used to count up the number of octopus that we see, knowing that we're not going to see them all, but at least give us an idea of the minimum number of octopus that are using this habitat for reproduction. And then we also have taken one measurement of the flowing water when we first kind of settled in and found that it was about 6.5 degrees. No, let's see. If ambient's around, what did you say? What was it? 1.7?
Yeah, right now, minimum has been 1.6 today.
1.6. And then the water coming out of the crack got up to 7.9 degrees Celsius, so quite a lot warmer. So we hope to do a few more of those measurements.
Oh, there's a line going out to Herc's 9.
Oh yeah, I see that. That's pretty cool.
Over there.
Straight ahead and then even continuing off screen. I don't know how far we want to go, but
Yeah, let's go ahead and follow a little bit. Ooh, there's a big, like, pillow channel there. That is nice. Wow. This is a good line.
Nice line, yeah.
Can you turn over that way a little bit?
Yeah,
See
yeah.
if,
Clockwise?
oh,
Or-
no,
sorry.
the
Yeah.
other way. I just was trying to see out in the distance, but it looks like it continues on a little ways. But we gotta get back on path here.
Sure. Thanks for doing that, checking this out. That was nice.
Bridge nav. Two 0 meter is 170. A lot of noise in the Argus sonar today.
Yeah.
Unless it's picking up octopus now. We recalibrated the sonar.
That would be a very even distribution of floating
Yeah.
octopus.
Yeah. Say we need to look into that.
There's some really interesting looking caves in this area. A couple of them have some encrusting organisms right near the entrances. Those females at the bottom of the screen look a little droopy in comparison to some of the others. Wonder if they're older, they've been here longer. Running out of energy.
Do you think that some of these that are off to the side in this kind of higher detritus area might be done brooding?
Well, we did see a couple so far, a few
Am I
times
okay to
we've
use
been
bubble?
out here.
Go for it.
And the animals that were senescing or just recently died, because I don't think the carcasses of dead octopus stick around very long, given how many scavengers are here. But they were kind of looking kind of droopy and laying on the actual sediments. They were no longer kind of in the rolled up, posture. Yeah. It's kind of amazing given how many octopus there are that we don't see more dead ones. So they probably do get cleaned up pretty quickly.
Want to zoom in now?
How many do you see in that cave? 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, zoom out.
5.
There's one down at the bottom, right?
So 5 in there.
Chad, if you had brought your baseball counter, I think your thumb would be tired at this point.
I was thinking about that earlier. Plus, as I was talking, you'd hear this in the background the whole time.
Bridge nav. Two zero
Oh, there's
meters,
one
170.
tucked away. Ooh, there's a lot of whelks.
You zoom in there now?
Wow.
Oh, what's going on with that one on the right? The darker tentacle or darker arms?
How far in do you want to go, Bob?
Hmm.
I don't know. Far
Yeah.
enough.
You see the whelks. I wonder if there's any. Oh, wait. Can you zoom up just a little bit? Chad, is any of that cement?
What's going
To
on
the
with that?
upper
Yeah.
right?
With that one? What is
That one,
Ooh.
when they're injured, they sometimes turn purple like that.
Huh.
But I don't know about that guy. Wow.
And there's a big patch of white in the middle. Looks maybe like an injury.
Yeah, let's zoom in on that.
Slight tilt up, please.
Sorry,
Oop.
zoom out. Let me get
Coming up.
planted.
Kind of like got punched in the
Ooh,
face.
don't plant on.
Mhm.
Hold position, please.
We're not going to be here long enough to have any effect with that. But
Okay. Like you're getting a little far. I'll restart
wait,
it.
zoom in.
A hole?
Wow.
Looks like a wound, all right.
Definitely swollen. I wonder, is that a sucker mark, maybe?
Mm.
Maybe
Oh.
it was a fight.
Hmm. Well, there's something looked different about the animal that is just to the left of this one as well.
Wow, that's
At
weird.
least-
Joey, zoom out and take a look at the one to the left.
Zoom out.
yeah, can we just peek at it?
Oh, the other, maybe perhaps male that's lighter in color. Yeah.
Right there.
Well, it looks like it has, I don't know, two-toned mantle. Oh
one
no, it's just
further
the
to the left?
arm.
Those are just, it's just the
Never
webbing.
mind.
Yeah. I
It's
think
the webbing of the
darker
arm. It
webbing.
was playing a visual. Yeah, it was playing a visual
That's
trick
all it
on my
is.
eyes.
Okay, zoom out. We
So
got to
what
get
is
going.
the
Yeah, well, let's
blue?
get going. Thank you.
What do you think
What'd
the
you say,
blue
Jan?
is? The blue shading on the other one, the one with the little white.
It's most likely
Mark.
indicative of an injury, though the one female we brought up had been slightly injured on the arm, and it turned that exact same color.
Oh wow.
I think it's literally like internal bleeding or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. They do. Don't they have a? Their hematoma is blue.
Is
It's
blue.
like a cyanide.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a seep
Octopus.
running
Ooh.
along to the left, and it even goes that way. I don't know which way the ship is moving.
Not
The
that
ship
way.
is moving, yeah.
Yeah.
Ship's moving southeast.
We can go very quickly over
Yeah,
here.
so instead of having iron-based blood, they have copper-based
Copper.
hemocyanin, which turns the blood blue.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
So that was, yeah. Wow, look at them all.
All right, I got to get back
Uh-huh.
under. I'm going to get lost.
Go for it. Yeah, we're
It's okay.
kind of clipping up the contours anyway. We can go back down.
I wonder what they were fighting about. And what the other octopus looks like. I didn't see if that was a male or female. I don't think we could see the arm. That would help us to determine that. Diana Waters is on the science chat. She says a friend is asking the name of the octopus. So this octopus is Moose octopus robustus, and that is M-U-U-S, not moose as in the mammal, that the terrestrial mammal, but M-U-U-S, Moose octopus robustus. And the same species of octopus has been seen to brood in aggregations here at Davidson Seamount and off of Costa Rica on, it was a ridge. What was the name of the ridge, Chad? Remember? Or
Sorry,
an
say that again,
outcrop?
Jen?
I can't remember. The other location where the where Annie Hartwell and colleagues saw the Moose octopus robustus.
Oh,
It's off Costa Rica, but I forget what it was called.
yeah. I used to have that on the on the ready. I do forget the name.
Chad, if you've got HIPAC, if you could take a look, we're kind of nearing the south end of the cone. Do we want to start heading east or continue south?
Yeah, because there'll be a slight bend, right? It'll kind of curve, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, we'll start heading east. And do kind of a southeast heading.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sam, I'm looking at HIPAC now. Does it always have a northerly orientation?
That's correct, Al.
I learned something today about navigation. This is great.
Bridge nav. meters, 110.
Dorado outcrop.
Thank you. That's it. Dorado outcrop. Yep.
Luckily, I used the
Ooh,
notes
nice
that
sponge.
Amity Wood helped pull together for us as a resource for these very reasons. Thank you, Amity.
So a lot of pillow lava here. This is
Zoom
nice.
in now.
Oh, what a beautiful sponge. Wow. Chad, if we had more time, would that be big enough for a 3D?
The sponge is big enough, but it has that rock on the right, so it'd be a little problematic to do the orbit.
Maybe you could share how that works, though. You've been more involved with it
Yes.
than I have.
So that is something we will definitely acquire at the whale fall later this dive. It'll be sometime tomorrow. Could be as early as sometime in the early to middle morning. Could be as late as early afternoon. But last year when we came across a whale fall, which is a whale that died at some point at the surface, we don't know how, of course, and then it sank. And we used just the video camera on the Hercules and did an orbit around the whale fall, clockwise and counterclockwise, keeping the entire whale in view the entire time, and then did a couple passes over the top. So the idea is with software, you can pull out individual frames, basically pictures, individual pictures. And when you stitch them together with software, the software can calculate the angle to the object in which it took the picture from. And from all those points, it can do a bunch of triangulation and build a wireframe of dots of every angle and every surface that it imaged and reconstruct a virtual 3D model of that object. So you don't need a scanning device, you don't need lasers, you don't need any of those special things. You can literally do this at home with a camera. You can take a picture of an object on your table, just go around it, and with software, you can recreate a 3D model of it. So it's called structure from motion. And we did that with the whale model, and you can find it links, I believe, on Nautilus Live, but certainly on the Sanctuary page and on sketchfab.com. You can do a search for whale fall, and you'll find it, and you can interact with it. It's a model you can use on your computer and spin it around and zoom in and zoom out. And so we'll do another model on this trip so we can compare the two 12 months apart. And there are even some rudimentary calculations we can make, like if volumes changed, how much of a distance individual bones may have moved, that kind of thing. But overall, just we'll be able to look at the two in pictures, but also these models, and you'll be able to spin them around and see how they're different. So it's going to be cool. So yeah, you were suggesting doing it with that sponge, and that is a typical target that would be good to take that video around and then recreate a 3D model of that sponge. That particular one was kind of up against a rock though, so we want something that's kind of by itself on flat area. That would be the prime model to go for. But on the early portion of the cruise in Pioneer Canyon, we did one orbit around a almost meter-tall Paragorgia, which is a bubblegum coral. So we'll play with those data at a later time, see if we can do that.
So you said the ship setting is 094?
094. Pretty much east.
Yeah.
Slightly
Yeah, so
southeast.
the Nautilus only arrived over the Davidson Seamount at about 3 p.m. Pacific time today, and last night at this time we were north of Monterey Bay, exploring at the end of our exploration of instead of a seamount, a submarine canyon. So a feature that goes down into the
What speed
seafloor
are we
instead
going,
of
by the way?
rising above it.
0.3 knots.
Copy.
And it is an odd feeling to
What'd you say?
just a little over 24 hours ago.
We're up pretty high, so I
I
think
was
we're
with
okay,
you
but
guys
yeah, if
on a watch from my home office.
we should be going along this contour,
Now I'm
right?
here.
No up or down?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, keep an eye on it, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty much due east.
Fortunately, I only have 2 hands. Not
If
that-
only you were an octopus.
Yeah, they would make
If only.
excellent ROV pilots. One
I can
octopus
see
could
it.
put Bob and I both out of a job.
And me.
Yeah. They might have trouble communicating with the bridge, though.
That's true. And video, whole front row. Video, 2 RV pilots, navigator, all one octopus. In this
They could
bizarre
zip
world that
and
we
zoom all at the same time.
There looks to be a little line of them off to the right over there.
Yeah. There's a nice cluster to the right, downslope a little bit.
It's really interesting how the rock forms and kind of topography changes in these different areas that we're going through. So Jan, do you see that looks to be like a coral skeleton on the left side laying down like that? I don't know if she can hear me. I was wondering, did you see
Yeah,
it?
my
It looked like
V-Link
a
is going
long...
in and out, so I've been pretty quiet, but I missed it.
Oh,
There
okay. I
has
think it
been
was
quite a large number of black corals of different varieties.
Okay, what is going on here?
Yeah, I would, whenever we get settled, I would love to get a zoom in on all that white there.
What is that?
I don't know if it's sponge that's in there intermixed or something else.
But
Just trying to settle down
Something's going
now.
on there. Something's going on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
the anticipation.
Let's roll the
Can't
dice.
we zip and then zoom?
Let's roll the dice for bacterial
yeah, let's
mats.
zoom in.
Let's see, zooming in on Herc.
Let's come wide and I can get a little bit closer, I think. We might need to come down on Argus a little bit. We're at 25. Okay, let's zoom in now. A little bit more.
There's some shimmering.
Lots of
Tough
flow.
to tell.
Wow, this is new. I don't think we've seen
Yeah.
this before.
Is this like a microbial mat? The really
Well,
thick one? Or...
yeah, I mean, it looks spongy to me right now. I can see like little holes in it and stuff.
Are we all in?
And a lot of times with the bacterial mats, you'll see the,
Yep,
you know,
I got more.
Yeah,
kind of
Yeah.
flailing in the wind, if you will.
Huh. But then
I've never,
there's...
yeah,
those
I've
look
never
like
seen
the-
microbial mat.
Oh,
be
wait,
this
are those
thick.
just real dense tube worms?
Almost looks like it.
Looks
What?
like.
Oh.
I think-
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
like a ball of
Rich
yarn. Yeah, I think it's just really, really dense tube worms. Whoa.
I think we should try and get a temperature measurement here.
Yeah, I think
Don't you?
it's worth the stop if we, well, no, you just called in a move, didn't you?
Nope,
Sam?
ship stop.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we're good.
We're good? All right,
Yeah.
cool. So I'd say let's do the optode here, and then if we can slurp some of that tube worm in between the octopus, I don't know if it's possible, but I would love to try.
I think you're about to be flying again here, Bob.
Gonna get yanked. Woo! That is a trip.
Wonder if further
Here, I
down
got it set up
slope
for you.
there's like going to be a small rock or something that might have some, because they look like they're going to be cemented.
Are you out?
But maybe we'll find a rock that we can pick up.
Did you say zoom in?
No, out.
Oh, okay. That's when you said in.
Might have to walk us back a little bit.
Roger. 5, 10.
Like them coming out
15.
all the way.
15.
We're at the edge of the zone there.
In the science chat, we're getting some wows, wowies, and whoa, Worm City. I like that, Worm City. There's quite a lot of sponges uphill as well.
Yeah. I know.
Okay. Amanda's saying this yellowish sponge that we're seeing, not in the foreground, but in the rocks in the background above where we're seeing the water and the worms is Mycali.
So what are we doing first here? We're gonna stick the.
Yeah, let's first try to get the optode kind of where all those worms are, somewhere.
Okay.
I know the angle may be tough because the manipulator may be on the other side, but.
I think it'll be all right. Oh, put it up against the wall there. All right, you want to zoom in now? Wait till the stuff clears up. They're still making a mess.
Wow. I'll say.
Can't zoom in with Argus yet. See what's going on.
4 meters to ship move complete.
Yeah, probably still another few minutes before it starts to.
Great. Sounds like bio break for the video guy now. I'll be right
Looks
back.
like it's clearing up. I was just worried I was up on the wall and blowing stuff. Keep blowing stuff in here.
I'm back.
So Herc is probably just on the bottom of that down cam there.
Yeah.
So, Chad, Amanda's noticing that just in setting down
You see the
here,
eggs.
we're getting a little rise in our temperature and our decrease in our oxygen.
Excuse me, Bob, can you tilt down a little bit? I see all the eggs from one of the...
Oh,
You
yeah.
do?
Yep.
Look at you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Oh,
And you can see her siphon blowing on them, or at least in that general direction.
is that to
We're
keep
trying to
them
see if we can see
clean?
like eye spots, potentially, or any other evidence of development inside the eggs. If people are wondering what we're looking at, it can be a little tricky because the underside of the octopus arms are white with white suckers, but in the current image, an arm is going up and circling around the top of your screen, and right under that, you can see the tops of the egg capsules. So they're bigger than the suckers on the arms,
Yeah, I think
but
so.
very similar in color.
Looks like we...
Yeah, you can see
went
some
by.
poking
We're
out
still at the
in
edge
between
of
the.
the thing there.
And
Oh no, was I just pointed the wrong
the arms.
way?
Okay,
I
zoom
can
out
see
now.
it on. I can see it on the
Yeah,
down
just
cam now.
coming into view.
I think if I keep coming around, it should come into view.
We can cancel that. Yeah, cancel that.
You want to zoom on the
Oh yeah, it's
alleged tube worms too? Suspected tube worms.
Yeah, and Amanda's saying that the membranes between the arms are billowing in the water also.
The flow is so
There seems to be a lot
strong.
of water movement.
Can we zoom in there on Argus, Al?
Yep.
Let's try to get a good view of
Yep,
the
got
manipulator.
the jerk there when you fire it up. That's what Jess was talking about.
I think you can go all the way. See if it, cool.
Okay, so the temperature reading is already elevated compared to ambient by a little bit. We're at 2 degrees C instead of, closer to 1.7.
Get on the cable.
Chad, do you want to introduce this instrument we're about to use?
Yeah, kind of loose term. This is called an optode. And so if you can see on the screen right now, you have this block of white with this gray PVC tubing. In that tubing are 2 sensors, one for dissolved oxygen and the other one is for temperature. And here both variables are inversely related. So the warmer the water, the lower the oxygen. So we try to put this into the cracks and crevices. We see all this shimmering occurring. And we let it sit there for a few minutes until readings stabilize. And then we'll see how warm it gets.
I'll follow you in.
Roger.
Okay, we've got the temperature rising.
Nice work.
Awesome, Bob. Thanks. That's good.
More
That's
eggs.
really threading the needle. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Well, it's kind that the mothers allowed some room between them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be side by side and you just can't
Look
get
at those
the wand
eggs.
in there.
Zooming in all the way.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, a lot of eggs there. Through the shimmering, of course.
Yeah. And the two worms
Is that
again.
an
Yeah.
eye spot? No.
I don't think so. I think these
Maybe
are,
they're eye.
there's a lot of debris flying around in the shimmering, but I
Yeah,
don't
it's
see anything
true. It's
obvious.
hard. Yeah.
So you can see
So
kind
where
of
are we
the
on
teardrop
temperature?
end of where
Oh,
they're
yeah.
attached to the rocks, and that's where the cement is. They're kind of like really long balloons, really oblong balloons, and where you tie the balloon is where they cement it to the rocks. And so earlier today, we had our first measurement. We got a high for this particular area, the octocone, of 7.9,
I'm zooming in.
and we're already matched that, and it's still rising. And we just hit 8 degrees C. We just hit 8.5.
He's not happy.
It's all right, Bob. I'm going back in again.
Yeah, you can feel free there, Al.
I don't get that very often. Thank you.
Well, when I'm in here with Ed.
Wow.
He just does it anyway.
Yeah, well, actually,
They're
we're
very
sort of got an agreement.
All right,
A non-verbal agreement.
just crossed 9 degrees C.
If anyone has a chance to toggle on either channel 2 or the quad view, the view from Argus is really cool, too.
You can actually even see the optode in the view from Argus when it isn't bouncing around too much.
Yeah, just make sure you keep an eye on the tether. We're stretched out.
Yeah.
You don't want another repeat.
Yeah, we're at 19.
Paul, can I have a slight tilt down on Argus camera?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
We are getting yanked around a little bit.
That's pretty cool.
6-8.
So like I was saying earlier, oxygen is inversely related to temperature. The last place was 7.9 degrees C and 61.6 micromolars per liter. Here we have 9.3 C, and it's lower than 61, which would be consistent. It's at 56.47. So slightly lower oxygen here, at least in this reading, of course, just one snapshot than the other place. There's an audience there.
Yeah, the shrimp have definitely been attracted by our activity,
Yeah,
or
certainly
maybe the fact that females' eggs were showing for a little bit, and maybe they keyed in on that.
All right, we'll just give it another 30 seconds if we have that time. We're not going to get pulled off, are we? We're good?
Nope.
Nope, ship
All right,
is
cool.
stationary, yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're a pretty darn good spot, really.
You want a DVL reset? Not even sure where.
I don't think
yeah.
we should bother.
Might be there.
So in addition to the octopus and the shrimp, we've been looking at the white worms that are attached to the rock at a much higher density than we've seen before. And you can also see some sponges. Those are the puffy whitish yellow, kind of egg-shaped puffs on the rock. And we're looking to see if there's any other unusual or new to us animals living in association with these octopus and vents.
So Chad, which graph, which oxygen saturation do you want to have recorded? There's a couple of different areas.
Yeah, let's do the concentration. I mean, you can write both down, that's fine. But if I had to choose one, just write the concentration where I think at 50, what was the low? 55.69 was the minimum. I think we can call it on the optode. We got 9.4 C, or 9.4 C, which for those at home, that's 49 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you scuba dive on the Central Coast, average temperature is probably around 50 to 52, but it can get down to 46. So it's kind of like a cool scuba diving day in Monterey. But that is a lot warmer than...
And you're using...
Uh-oh. Let go, let go, let go.
Yeah, this will happen sometime.
There, good.
I think she's still there, so she's good.
I'm all the way up.
Good, good, good.
And you're using which oxygen concentration, oxygen saturation and concentration measurements, or?
The one with the